Good morning and welcome to the June 15th edition of Litter Media Live with Mike Smith. I'm Dan Ramey, and welcome to a Thursday.
Week's really going by quickly.
It has. It's almost like it kind of feels like a holiday week of some sort.
But it was not.
It was not.
It was not.
But I wasn't here yesterday dealing with a family issue, and so we got that taken care of, and happy to be back and right at it here this morning.
Yes, sir.
For those of you that are just seeing this program for the first time, we've got a YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see this program a little bit later on today on YouTube. And, of course, you can share it here as well with your friends and let them know what we're doing. We're talking about the good things that are happening in our community, and not just in our community, but around our community as well. Our local base is Chillicothe, but we stretch out to Fairfield County, Pickaway County, down to the Ohio River, and as far west as over towards beyond Fayette County. Mm-hmm. So a lot of areas that we try and touch base with.
And if you're confused because we were live on YouTube the other day, that's because there was a problem that day with live Facebook.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But we're back here on Facebook. So just to give you a quick little rundown, we've got news, we've got sports, we've got this date in history, and we usually start with a look at what's happening with our weather. We also have a radio moment in which we take a look back on our long storied radio careers, and we sometimes have a long story to wrap up the show with as well. So that's coming up. But first, a look at our forecast for today.
For most of us, I think we're looking at a mixture of sun and clouds, warmer with a high up around 80. Now, there are parts of central and north, I guess if you want to call it north-south central Ohio, that could see some severe storms sometime between 4 and 11 o'clock tonight. At one point last night, we were in that zone, the dark green, and then this morning it lifted a little bit towards the north, Pickaway, and farther up. So, but you know how the weather, it doesn't always go by our forecast. Mm-hmm. So just be prepared that as the atmosphere heats up late this afternoon, that there is a possibility of some hail and damaging winds late this afternoon through tonight.
The old adage is stick around, it'll change.
It'll change, especially in Ohio. Yeah.
Yes. All right, so coming up, we'll take a look at what's making news for us today on our website, littermedia.com. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. If you have a cleanup job that needs to be done and you need a dumpster to get it done, Scioto Valley Dumpsters is who you need to contact. 740-253-8389. Tell them Dan and Mike sent you. News next.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Who drinks Budweiser? You know the type. The people who grind. Those who don't back down. And the ones who don't quit. They say all people are 6 degrees of separation away from each other. But some are just a six-pack away. The people who share the same spirit, share the same beer. This Bud's for you.
We're kind of a six-pack away, too. I mean, six-pack abs that we have.
Yeah.
Time for news. And to get us started, where are we heading here first?
Huntington Township. One of the folks out there, John Cotter, was kind enough to send it, and he's a daily watcher of this program. John, how are you?
Hi, John.
He said that Huntington Township Fire Department has been awarded a FEMA grant for just over $227,000 for new self-contained breathing apparatus and extrication devices, also known as the Jaws of Life.
That's a big help.
The big one, yeah. The SCBA needs to be replaced every 20 years, and the equipment the department has had is now over 20 years old, which was handed down from another department. So some very much-needed new equipment coming the way of the Huntington Township Fire Department. The 94th Annual Commercial Point Homecoming is in progress, started yesterday, and it runs through this Saturday. It's sponsored by the Commercial Point Men's Club and is home to the famous Ocean Perch Sandwich. Free parking is available. And they give back to the local youth leagues, 4-H and so forth, yes. So it all goes for a good cause.
Brother Mike has been involved with this over the years, and really neat to see it continuing. However, Missy and I drove through Commercial Point yesterday and didn't see anything about this.
Wow.
So, but we didn't drive over by Scioto Elementary, which is where I think everything takes place still.
Gotcha.
So
this began the year that Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs in 1927.
Yeah.
Which was also the year my father's birth.
And the men's club always do everything they can to help with the baseball league there. This is my old stomping grounds right here.
Yeah, I know that. Lancaster's Miller Pool is closed for a second day today for maintenance, but they are hoping to reopen tomorrow. Didn't say exactly what the specific maintenance was, but they were closed yesterday. Thought it would be back open today, but it's not. But they are hoping to get it reopened in Lancaster by tomorrow. A native grass forage workshop will be held June the 22nd. That's a week from today, from 6 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. at Mound City Group Visitor Center in Chillicothe. Now, although the event is free, an RSVP is required to attend the event. You can contact Jason Jones by email at jjones@quailforever.org. Join Scioto Trails State Park for their fishing frenzy this Saturday. Come out to enjoy a day of fishing and grab some breakfast, too. It's a free event and open to the public.
Is this weekend the free fishing weekend in Ohio, or was that last
I think
weekend?
that's passed. Yeah,
Okay.
That was...
I was thinking it was this weekend.
Yeah, so a few weeks back. Well, this is free fishing.
Yes.
So I guess in some regards it's still on. Staying outdoors, story time is in the Ohio State Parks. It's this year's event's themes including fossils, birds of prey, amphibians, hiking, reptiles, animal track identification, pond and creek exploration, and tree identification. Events will be taking place across the state from now through mid-September. Storytime in the Parks has partnered with 11 state parks and 9 different library systems. The goal is to grow the program next year and expand access to more communities across the state. Now, if you go to our website, storyatLittermedia.com, there's a link as to all of the area state parks that are participating. This Saturday, June 17th, is opening night for the outdoor drama Tecumseh. Witness the epic life story of the legendary Shawnee leader as he struggles to defend his sacred homelands in the Ohio country. The shows this year, again, Monday through Saturday at 8 p.m. Tickets at tecumsehdrama.com. And that's not the only thing that's happening this weekend.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Kenworth Truck Parade, that's going on, and more.
Yeah. So you'll see Dan and Mike, Chris Scott, and all the folks from Kenworth there Saturday. Actually, there's a family day. That takes place at the plant earlier in the day.
Yeah, for the employees and everything. It's pretty cool.
And then they bring everything,
Yeah.
Including the big trucks, back into the park, around the park, Water Street, down by Majestic for the big truck route. We showed you that map earlier in the week. We'll probably show you that again tomorrow. Road report in Scioto County. Work's underway for a resurfacing project on State Route 348. The project will resurface about 6 miles of highway between Martin Cemetery Road and US 23, as well as perform preventative bridge maintenance. Now, the work is being done daily from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mondays through Friday. During those work hours, two-way traffic is maintained in one lane using flaggers. And that is your topics for today.
And while you were doing that, I looked it up. Yes, it is this weekend, the free fishing weekend in Ohio.
For everywhere in the state.
Yes, it's been in May in previous years.
I guess we had the story a week ago.
Right.
Maybe that's what my brain was thinking.
Yeah. So it is Saturday and Sunday. You don't need a fishing license here in Ohio.
17th and 18th, come to think of it, yes.
All right, coming up, we'll take a look at sports. And we've also got this state in history, and the Litter Media Wayback Machine is dialed up for
1846.
All right.
Out in the Northwest Territory.
Okay. This is before the 49ers, so it's not there's gold in our hills.
And way before Cary Grant went north by Northwest.
Mike relates everything to old movies.
Which was in color, by the way. I just want you to know.
Yeah, which is one of the few that he's watched that's in color. Your trusted comfort advisor is Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. They're in living color. You can see them now by clicking on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. It will take you right to their website to learn more about the services they provide and the territories that they service. Learn more now at littermedia.com. Coming up, sports next.
At Country Clipper, pride runs deep. We take pride in knowing our mowers help create a space for families to make memories. That our features transform mowing into an enjoyable experience. Most importantly, we take pride in knowing the decision to purchase a Country Clipper will be one you can be proud of for years to come. Country Clipper zero-turn mowers.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. It is time for sports now, and where are we starting?
A new commissioner has been named for the Mid-State League. Now, there's different divisions of the Mid-State League. We're, as far as our coverage area, more familiar with the Buckeye Division. But Pat Durbin, who is the current athletic director at Canal Winchester, will be taking over for Pat Hayes. Is it Pat Hayes? Jim Hayes, I'm sorry.
Jim Hayes.
Pat Hayes is a broadcaster.
Radio.
Jim Hayes, the old Taze Valley guy. Jim is retiring as the commissioner. Pat will be retiring from the Canal Winchester AD job, and he is the fellow that will take over as the MSL new commissioner.
Now, I don't know how long he's been at Canal Winchester, but Canal, at one point in time, was a longtime member of the Mid-State League, and now they're in the Ohio Capital Conference.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
he would be familiar if he's been around for a while. So.
It just said in the release that we got from Circleville that he had been the AD at Canal for many years.
Okay, good.
But how many, I do not know.
Very good.
Last week when we were talking with Kai Pulliam, head track coach at Paint Valley, and Cole Miller of the Bearcats about their state runner-up finish, they said they were going to go back to the Jesse Owens track as a team and have a team picture taken. Well, here it is. They went up. I believe that was last night. It says tonight on the picture there, but that was last night. And this was kind of neat because I think this was one of the things that Cole Miller said, I'd like to see all the guys get recognition, even though Cole was the one that had all 30 points. But there they were last night at the OSU Jesse Owens track. And that's Jesse's statue in the background, by the way.
Not Cole Miller?
No. Yeah, they could probably.
The other statue of Cole Miller right there.
They could probably put one up there. But congratulations again. Their state runner-up trophy, that was the first time that an SVC track team has had a first or second place finish as a team since the Adena girls did it in 1975. The boys had won it in 19. They won it all in 72. The girls won it in 75. The Paints bounced back with a loss. They won 2 nights ago, but they did lose last night to the Aviators 5-4. Jacob Wise, who is the play-by-play announcer, did a little video tour of their press box. Mm-hmm. That is a nice stadium.
Yes.
I said, sweet gig. How do you get that? Yeah. I think they're keeping their fingers crossed for Chillicothe here in the future.
Got a feeling he will have something like that in the future to enjoy.
Yeah, but they're back home tonight, and keep in mind that tomorrow night, Friday night, is the Veterans Appreciation Night. But they do come home for a game tonight.
Yes, but tomorrow night, get there early because, the gates will open up at 6:05 for general admission. Right. But if you've got general admission, there's going to be a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the biggest attended games that they have.
I won't say this publicly, but One of the paints folks was telling us what the actual seating capacity, according to the fire marshal, is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they stretch that a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe it's on those nights that they don't give the tonight's attendance is. In case the fire marshal goes crazy.
You get all that room out in the picnic area and stuff. Hard to keep track of all
I just wonder if they got their new picnic tables since they were selling off or getting rid of the old ones. Yeah.
More standing room only.
Yeah. Why in the world wasn't this our lead story? The Cincinnati Reds are winning, folks. They're only a game and a half out of first place in the National League Central.
And this is not the first time they've brought the brooms out this year.
Yeah.
They swept the best team in American League Baseball so far this year.
That's right. That was Tampa Bay. But they've been kind of hot and cold at times. But right now, folks, they are hot, red hot. Swept the KC Royals. They're off tonight. They move on to play the world champion Astros in Houston tomorrow night. So I guess this is where we find out, okay, is this for real or are you just teasing us? Because KC, if you look at their one-loss record, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, I think they won 18 games this year.
Yeah, but all the same, you gotta beat the teams you're playing, and they finished up that 3-game sweep last night.
And Houston's not undefeated, so.
That's correct. Guardians last night, still out in San Diego. Not so good news. The Padres get a 5-0 win over the Tribe. And that is a look at sports. Keep checking our littered Twitter throughout the week. Anytime we have any of our area American Legion baseball teams posting scores, we'll have all of that for you as well.
Just a reminder, I clicked on this by mistake, but don't forget we may have some severe weather in north to our territory through Pickaway County and so on and so forth. So keep that in mind.
And that darker green, that, as you can see, the scale, that's considered marginal, where we're in the thunder category. That's the one on the bottom, thunder category.
So we're in the Thor category.
Instead of a storm, it might be a thorn. Oh, golly. A thorn.
I met the Marvel Comics Thor, Lord of Thunder.
I used to go to school with a guy that said thorns.
Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Uh-huh. Was he a broadcaster?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I won't embarrass him by giving his name. But he finally got through that. You know, a lot of kids have a little speech impediment when they're younger, having trouble pronouncing certain names. That's how a lot of nicknames come about for people.
Yeah.
Because the little kids can't pronounce their names. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, our friend from radio days, Dave Armbruster, his name is David, but Yid came along because his little brother couldn't say David. And he kept calling him Yid. So Yid Armbruster, you've heard him on the Reds Radio Network for a long time. He is forever Yid. All right, coming up in just a moment, we'll get you caught up to date on what's happening with this state in history. So stick close for that. And maybe a radio moment also just ahead.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Dave Pinkerton with Advanced Services Heating and Cooling, your local heating and cooling expert. If you want quality service, quality installation, give Advanced Services a call, 740-773-4499.
This date in history with Mike Smith.
Going back to 1846, representatives of Great Britain and the United States signed the Oregon Treaty, which settles a long-standing dispute with Britain over who controlled the Oregon Territory. The treaty established the 49th parallel from the Rocky Mountains to the Strait of Georgia as the boundary between the U.S. and British Canada. The U.S. gained formal control over the future states of Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Montana, and the British retained Vancouver Island and navigation rights to part of the Columbia River. And this is the actual document, thanks to Wikimedia Commons, of the Oregon Treaty.
Ever been to Oregon?
I've never been west of Chicago. Somebody asked me that question the other day.
We went on a trip when I was a kid. When Jim, Mike, and Debbie left the house, that left me as the only child.
The favorite.
And that's what.
But you were all the time.
They always said.
The golden child.
And so Mom and Dad took us on this camping trip. And this was a truck camper, the kind you put in the bed of a pickup truck. And so I was in the 5th grade at this time, and we went out west. And we left going through Indiana, Illinois, of course, got into Iowa, went through Nebraska on to Wyoming to go out for Cheyenne Rodeo Days, which was like one of the biggest rodeos in the world, I guess. And I was just, my jaw was open the whole time. I'm like, this is very cool. Yeah. They had real Indians. They had real cowboys. They had real all this stuff. And, you know, growing up as a kid, you only saw it on TV. You know, but to get to see it in real life was. But then we went down to Colorado Springs. The plan was to go up Pikes Peak, but it was too cloudy. The whole time we were there, it was just too much cloud cover, so they had the peak was cut off, so to speak. So we went gold mining instead. Went up to Cripple Creek, Colorado. Got to pan for gold, which was pretty neat. It was fool's gold, but still it was gold. And then we came back through Kansas and that portion. So I saw a good part of the United States just by truck camper. And every family photo that we would take when you go someplace has either the side view mirror or the radio antenna or the arm of the door, because Dad wouldn't stop any place.
That sounded like our dad. We got to get there. We got to get there.
I remember we went to visit Aunt Margie in Virginia Beach one time, and he took a wrong turn at D.C., and Dad is just spitfire mad. He was not happy that he made the wrong turn. And I'm seeing like the Washington monuments, and I'm seeing all this, and I'm like, this is really cool. But Dad was not happy.
Yeah. We're not going there. Speaking of traveling, best radio business trip that you ever took?
New York City. I'd never been to New York before, and this was 4 years after 9/11 had occurred. And despite the fact that I had to traipse around following Dan Latham everywhere.
Your tour guide,
native to the area, but I was not.
Right.
And he did tell me, he says, now when you get there, don't go looking up, because when you look up, you kind of stick out.
Yeah.
How do you not look at these tall buildings and everything?
Concrete canyon.
So, yeah, but that would be it for me.
Disney World for me.
Yeah.
ABC, we were an affiliate at that time on WKKJ, and they sent me down there for a conference. Sam Donaldson was the guest speaker at one of the events, and I always kind of liked Sam, even though he referred to himself as an equal opportunity harasser of presidents. Said whether it was Jimmy Carter or Ronald Reagan, he was the guy always yelling out, "Mr. President," you know, and I think Nancy Reagan even called him out one time. But
so he and Madeleine Albright, was it? Not Madeleine Albright. Who was the longtime lady that was the reporter that she had survived
she was the one that would start the press conferences and sign them off, basically.
Yeah.
And
she always reminded me of Madeleine Albright for some reason.
But there was a small town radio station. Actually, it was a husband and wife that ran the station. I think they were from out in Wyoming or something. And we were sitting there talking after the dinner, and it was amazing. I thought everything that they were talking about were problems at their station. I thought,
it doesn't matter what market size.
That sounds just like what we have to go through. Yeah. So, and it wasn't even the same company that was running them. It's just, that's the way it is. Big time problems, small town problems. So
yeah, I noticed that on the New York trip as well. And even the people we sat with, this was a working session that we had, and we were drawing up commercials. It was to teach us how to write better commercials and that sort of thing, and to be creative while we were doing. And everybody at the table had similar stories, no matter the market size. So if you were from the small market like we were, or the large markets, same thing, just larger territory.
What's that old saying? The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just the human condition.
Yeah. If you're just now tuning in and you say, hey, do you guys talk about your radio days a lot? Yeah, we do at the end of these programs. So go take a look back. There's some things we have repeated before, but I know one of these days maybe we ought to just cut all of these out so that you
or when they
hear
start,
our
we
radio
start
stuff.
repeating the same thing each day of the week. Then you know we're ready for that rest home gig at that point.
Right. We always joked about sitting on the front porch and doing the morning announcements at a rest home somewhere. So that might be what we'll be doing one day.
Yeah.
So at a retirement facility.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, that's it for the program today as we get ready to be back again here tomorrow.
Maybe an earlier show tomorrow.
Maybe an earlier show tomorrow, and we may have something this afternoon. I don't know yet because I was supposed to get confirmation yesterday, but I have not heard back from them. But if we have a special show, it will show up for you this afternoon here on Facebook Live. So for Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we will see you tomorrow with another edition on Litter Media Live.